Did Bryan's taunt get better tracking, or was it a placebo? Actually, after the emergency patch that patched out things like Lars 421, they even said it. They reverted it. They reverted it back to before season 2. So it's the exact same. And I thought it was the exact same. And then Nee was like, man, it's even better now. I don't know what you're talking about. And then they come out with this information like it was based on 1.17. And I was like, maybe you don't know what you're talking about. The combo from Soccer Kick against Jack and Gigas is... it's not good. Mostly because you can't get any wall potential from it.
Jack 7. Get ready for the next battle.
So my combo when I land Soccer Kick on Jack or Gigas would be more like down back 2. Just turn. Would be more like this. That. It would be something like that. But unfortunately there's no wall potential because he's spaced up feet away. But at the very least, from down back 2, Sway Smash is pretty surprisingly easy actually. Down back 2 Sway Smash in this position. Damn it. Damn it. I find Jack and Gigas to be very difficult characters to even try to hit with Sway 4. They're pretty difficult to hit with that move, in general. Damn it. Right. To begin with, 1+2 down back 2 doesn't work on Jack. This is what happens. Just whiffs for kind of no reason. It's hard to really tell why exactly. And then you can't even do jet up or sway smash for some reason. His legs are too short or something. So that's literally impossible to do jet up or sway smash. Whoops. Is that the bad axis? That's weird. No, that's fine. Did the Season 2 changes cause any issues during your fight with Joey? It didn't cause any issues, but I definitely know that the changes were in play. It didn't have to be shown, but for example, Low Scissors is now launchable by Bryan. Before, you could block this point blank And Bryan would be literally one of, if not the only character in the game that could not launch this move. Because Mustang 1 had no range like that. So that would happen. Whoops. This would happen no matter how close I block this move. I would have to like slice up right and duck. Slice up right and duck. And what's funny is, Joey didn't know about this until I told him when he came to NorCal. This was before Season 2. And Season 2 comes out. Season 2 comes out, nerfs the pushback on this move. And now Bryan can launch it. And that may be part of the reason why you didn't see it at all during STR. Not at all. This is coincidentally minus 18, which means 19 frame Fisherman Slam is not going to work. And when you blocked it from before, when you blocked it from even point blank, while staying 1 was prone to whip. Like that. This is from far away. Right? But that happened point blank in Season 1. Now, not so much the case. Damn. Did I play casual with Eris at SCR? So I stayed at Eris's house, and we played some casuals then. We didn't play at SCR, we played during SCR weekend. There's a lot of drop combos at SCR because I was trying a lot of Season 2 combos that I wasn't used to yet, and sometimes just drop a lot of combos. So a lot of people were saying there was a lag on the stream station or something, but I didn't really get that impression.
Get ready for the next battle.
Whoops, what the hell? I see. Whoops. That's weird. Whoops. You don't delay the down back 2 in that combo. You delay the knee, which you are missing in your notation, ironically. Top 3 changes. I made a tweet. Someone can link that tweet. That'd be good. We're about to switch to stick today. The advice would be to play in any way or peripheral most comfortable to you. If stick doesn't seem to work out, you don't have to force it. As much as I pad shame people, you play on whatever you feel comfortable with. Oops. Do I prefer to hear commentators during my matches? I think I do. I mean, to begin with, the reason why I don't wear headphones is because it's just more fun to hear what's going on around you, right? Commentators can be a part of that. I had a lot of fun listening to like Eris and Rip and stuff. Damn it. I really want to like learn how to do this combo well, or like consistently well. It's a very efficient combo in my eyes. In my eyes, very efficient combo. Damn it. There. So down back 1+2 is a little bit less damage. So let's try this again. Damn. Damn. So 75 for that. Really easy to do this. 74. But 75 with the wall potential and the Oki. The Oki is the important part, I think. The reason why I think this is an efficient combo is because even earlier I was talking about things like combo theory and combo logic. Things like, for example, this feels like a waste because you're doing 3 hits and then you do step kick, cross bazooka, right? But instead you could do 4 hits to it. So that feels much more efficient. It's 4 hits instead of 3 hits, right? And then in Season 2, now there's 5 hits because they reduced the recovery on back 2 and 4. Damn. But it's still difficult. Bryan's wall bounce move is, if you think about this move, objectively speaking, it's one of his furthest moves. It actually is his furthest move, basically. It goes further than Mog Breaker. It's a mid. It can be safe on block with pushback. Oops. Yeah, like this distance, there are many 12s in the game that are not going to reach. It's 12. So one of the most common uses for this move is when the opponent's back into the wall and you are just within like pretty much max range of it. When you do the move, to check them, because it seems absurd that Bryan would be able to attack him from like this far, but he can't. So it checks him from that far away. And then you get a wall splat. Well, okay, before you got a wall splat. And now you get a wall bounce. So it serves essentially the same purpose with more damage. And the second use of this move is the whip punish, because it's the furthest. And as part of the second reason, you can also use it to punish things like Asuka's back 3. It's pretty important for that, even though I never do it. This is literally his furthest move. Oops. Tracking's okay because if you think about it, geometrically speaking, from further away, they'd have a harder time sidestepping this. Do you have to choose between Oki or damage after landing Bryan's wall bounce? Everyone's wall bounce goal is to land another wall splat after, right? Because the wall's right there. You got a wall bounce. The wall's right there anyway. There's nothing complicated about it. You carry them to the wall again, so you do the same wall combos you've been doing ever since before wall bounce. So the decision between Oki and damage after landing wall bounce is the exact same as just landing regular wall splat. So maybe I'm gonna end with down back 1+2. Maybe we're gonna end with knees. Same decision. When the wall is maxed, yeah, it's things like that. You get a warning. It's things like that what I'm talking about. It's best to think of combos as part of a combo theory, and like combo logic is much more important than like rote memorization, things like max distance. Just do this move, and then this move, and this move, and that's it. There's no context whatsoever. There's no context involved. I hate it when there's no context involved. Do I hate any characters in this game? No. I like this game a lot. That would be an understatement. I can really appreciate pretty much every character. I can definitely can't say I hate anyone, for sure. Yeah, Chloe, I like Chloe, sure. Not Kuma? I like Kuma, sure. Just fair. Ling? I can appreciate Ling.
Bryan Fury.
Ling players is a different story, but that has nothing, if you think about it, objectively, that has nothing to do with the character.
Get ready
Right?
for the next battle.
Did you guys know there's an extra baller combo with season 2? Season 2 extra baller combo. You got 6 hits, and then you could still run up and do back 3 cross bazooka. 6 hits? I didn't think that was possible. This is like ridiculously impractical because it's just so finicky. I can't figure out what makes this combo work. 6 hits? Yeah, I thought it was impossible. I don't know why I even tried this for a little bit. but it works. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Like, what the hell? It's crazy, isn't it? What do I think about Korean sticks? I think they suck, actually. I think they're rubbery, and not having a square gate makes no sense. Not being able to find corners. It just seems kind of impractical. It seems really impractical, actually. Yeah, this is not a practical combo. Not by any means. I can't even figure out what exactly this combo wants from me. Like, if I could figure that out, you know, I could like work at it and stuff like that, but it just seems really finicky with the axis. The axis in particular. I think Dragunov combo theory got a lot more interesting, for sure. He's one of the only characters in the game that has 10 hits. Like a 10-hit carry. 10-hit carry is like unprecedented. Like, if you're doing 9 hits, you're doing a good job for like a wall carry kind of combo. And he's got like 10 now. God damn it. So I was thinking about doing this too. So I can run up freely and play Oki. But it just doesn't feel right. No, that's not real. They could have backdashed. Because if you think about it, even still, if you end it like really in a really ghetto way, it still does more damage overall, and just about the same wall carry. Let's say the old combo with 4 hits. That's only 63. If you think about it. As long as they're like a tall enough character where sidestep cross bazooka is going to be like relatively consistent, I'd go for it. I've been meaning to go for it more actually. And I play against like, let's say Bronson's Geese a lot. Bronson's Geese is definitely one of those characters that's tall enough to make sidestep cross bazooka consistent. That seems difficult, if not even really worth it. Yeah, because you can't... The point of down back 2 Ender is so that you can run up and taunt them. But that puts me in a running state, and there's no way I can run up and taunt. So it's almost worthless. I might as well just finish with the knee. Personally. Might as well just run up and be free to do whatever I want. I want to do that combo. That would have been a really nice Season 2 change. If they made Cross Bazooka first hit lower. It hits pretty high as it is now. A little bit too high. Yeah, then combos like that would be less difficult for things like that. Damn it. Why do I buffer 2 after Mach Kick? Like, just now? I haven't done a Mach Kick in a while. I hit 2 a lot, that's for sure. As like an empty button to help with like rhythm. It's like a natural thing to do for most people, really. Knees is not going to work because they're going to be way too far back for the second knee to hit. And it'll be pretty clear once you do the first knee. Like there's no way that's going to reach right. God. Okay, I think it's still pretty safe to say Law's top 3. Considering his competition got worse. And he got better. And I already thought he was top 3. If I do the math that way, pretty sure he's still top 3. Damn it. I was doing really good with this combo before. I don't know what happened. I kind of just like forgot how to do it. Maybe I should do it earlier. I guess I was too busy thinking about trying to run up close enough. God damn it. Yeah, even messing that up, I got 69 damage. That's still more than this old 4 hits 63. 4 hits 63. It still does more, even if I drop it. I could end this combo right now at the screw attack, and it's 63. You know? Damn it. End it with jet upper. That's a pretty good one. That kind of has like that's a really small wall carry potential too. Like this really small window where it can clean wall splat. This combo doesn't work on smaller characters because, to begin with, this cross bazooka is probably not going to hit. And even if it were to hit, this back 3 is impossible. So, oops. If the wall is really close, can any but back 3 connect at what? If the wall is really close, can anything but back 3 connect after? You mean like wall is really close and then you didn't hit the wall? Because if that were the case, why would you not want back 3 anyway? Since it leads to the wall combo naturally. I guess I just gotta do it earlier. That feels so unnatural. And I still drop it. So that's not the problem. Damn it. You know what's interesting? This is actually unlisted as a change because they made note that back 2-4's recovery is better and back 2-1-4 4's recovery is better as well, but they made no mention of Corsica Ford 414's recovery. But that got better for sure. You never block low. How do you train yourself in the habit of blocking low? If you get hit low enough times and you're dying because of it, naturally you'll try to live and not die. So that's probably how you'll get around to it. Yeah, I was already doing that combo. I was doing that combo in Treasure Battle, actually. Same combo applies. Okay, one of my favorite changes with Season 2 is that I was very unhappy with Bryan's low parry. Bryan's low parry historically has been average to below average. Historically. And then Tekken 7 was no different. Tekken 7 was no different. He only got... let's say you do that. You do a really normal combo. 43 is well below average. Right, but with this new 434 recovery buff, potentially, if you can land the stupid cross bazooka after, potentially it can be higher by 9 points. 52 puts him at average to slightly above average low parry, actually. That's what I was most happy about when Season 2 dropped. I just wish low parry to cross bazooka would work, because that would be a grip. But sometimes it does. Look at that, sometimes it does. For me? Sometimes, most of the time it doesn't, actually. Yeah. Side step left? 53 even, damn. Oh, not even side step left. Yeah, this is a really inconsistent combo altogether. That's what I wanted from Season 2. I wanted Core Circle 4 2 to hit lower. This move hits way too high up there. Way too high. It's way too high. Tensai, you get a warning. Damn. You're being warned about your hostility and not being very open-minded. Sometimes it's not about buffs and nerfs. I definitely think Dragunov is more fun in this game than he was in Season 1. You get a strike if you are requesting mod. So I've definitely been thinking about using 443 in this situation too, especially now that soccer kick's not even free, because sometimes you can roll back, sometimes you can spring kick. Actually, all the time you can spring kick. If I do it in a way that made it a combo in tag 2, you can spring kick, right? But my answer to this recently, I just thought, why would I not do 443? If they do spring kick, it's a screw attack. If they roll back, it hits. If they try to get up, it hits. Rather than trying to like run up and down back 2, where I only get 10 damage. If I only get 10 damage if they don't spring kick, I can get 20. And if they spring kick, it'll be a screw attack too. For some reason, I didn't think of that for the longest time. Because that's going to happen. This is the answer to soccer kick that would otherwise be free. But then you can do this. Do you still think 4 for 3 sucks to use in neutral? I don't really see how you can argue otherwise, right? It's slow. It doesn't. It's okay. It's slow. Not even safe. Reward is really low. Counter hit is basically nothing. It's pretty hard to warrant the use of this move, for sure. It's slow, reward is low, and it's punchable unblocked. This sounds like a really bad combination. Oops. How do the sets, actually before that, what are the best moves in neutral game for Bryan? The problem with answering that question is that we likely have different definitions of what a neutral game is. So it's difficult to give an answer to that, especially when a lot of things can change given context and things like that. Pretty difficult question, actually. How do the sets go between me and Terrell? I don't think I played Terrell Summer Jam. I don't think I... Yeah. Summer Jam we didn't play at all. We were hanging out for a little bit. And then he was in me and Hua's room, but we didn't play each other. He was just playing Sean all day. Man, he played Sean for like hours too. Can I elaborate on opinions about neutral game being different? It's a really big hassle, so I'm gonna respectfully decline. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot Terrell lost his Sean. And then they just like ran it back for like hours in our room. I mean, just, you know, for funs. No, after knee, I would strongly recommend continuing doing down 2. And then it's what comes after that is preference, because you can take advantage of the new recovery buff on back 2 and 4. So you can do that. Or you can give up 5 damage and just forget about the new combo. Do the same old 4 hits. I would only recommend knees After low parry, boa crusher, and usually up forward orbital heal. What the hell? Damn it. Because after the up one, and you clip something, these may or may not hit. May or may not. Yeah, if you clip a jab here, there's no way you're gonna land knees after, right? Oops. Like that, for example. After Northern Cross, I would recommend Cross Bazooka if you knew that they were not going to get to the wall with 7 hits, first of all. And second, that you knew they were a character that Factory would work on afterwards. For example, Steve. Yeah, then I would recommend it. Like, there's no walls anywhere here, nothing to think about. Yeah, for sure. In this scenario. Like, but let's say this is where it takes like a really quick judgment. Let's say I already knew by now, at this moment, I need 7 more hits to the wall. Then I have to forego Cross Bazooka because I can only get 6 out of it. And this would be 7. That's the 7 I need. But making such quick judgments is pretty difficult sometimes. Do I remember how I lost to James in 2013? I don't remember how I lost to him, but I believe that was winners. I believe that was winners. And then that was the same tournament I lost to Kayal. Damn it. From what I heard, Kayal moved back to Saudi Arabia. I don't know what happened after that. I think he got married. He either got married or I heard incorrectly. Unfortunately, down whoopers 2 still feels pretty useless because the reward is just so low. The reward is way too low. Like this first hit, it's gotta be upped by like minimal 8 points for it to be any useful, I think. 10? 10 for this? It's crazy. And this canned mix-up being better is not the best mix-up to begin with, because you're stuck doing the options. Everything else, you're stuck trying to do anything else besides the sway moves. Have I ever done up back 1+2 combo in a match? No, because up back 1+2 is really inconsistent. So I never try it. I never try it on purpose, anyway. Down 1+2 still serves a purpose. Still serves a purpose with re-wall splat, of course. I'm not saying it's completely useless, but I'm talking about trying to use it in conjunction with the buff they try to give it. I feel like Bryan was one of the characters they did not know what direction to go into, as opposed to like Kazuya Heihachi. Kazuya Heihachi, I could say Lee too. They had really good, well thought out changes, as opposed to Bryan. Have I used down 1+2/3 in this game as a re-wall spot? I have. Remember when I was talking earlier about like combo logic? Well, at the time when I got the wall splat, I knew these 2 hits were not enough. So I needed 1 more hit. It happens to be a 3rd hit. 1 more hit into the wall. Yeah, I mean, this Bryan's for sure the most fun, because if you think about it, he has the most things to like mess around with. He might not be the best in terms of like tier placement as he has been in the past. That might be like DR or something. DR he might have been like 4th or 5th, but it was less fun than it is now, where he's nowhere close to 4th or 5th. Although I have thought about like alternate universe. If I had not played Bryan after all these years, sometimes I do regret playing Bryan. Sometimes things are just so much more difficult than they have to be. But I've already made up my mind. Doesn't really matter. But alternate universe Jimmy, it matters. And some alternate universe Jimmy characters include Steve, Lee, and Mishimas. Yeah, Steve, Lee, and Mishimas, I think. Also Law. Mishima seemed like a very me kind of character. Mishima's alternate universe Jimmy as a Mishima's player, I can definitely see. Why do you think many people hate Bryan? Actually, many people seem to really like Bryan. Bryan's one of the most popular characters in this game. Unless you meant, why do you think many people dropped Bryan? I can tell you the answer to that. That's for sure. Why did so many people drop Bryan? Yeah. You guys know another change I like in Season 2? It would definitely be this. This is literally plus 30. And however, it is a golden rule. It's a golden rule in this game that nothing is free after this kind of sit-down stun. right? But it's literally plus 30. But obviously nothing free. It's a golden rule. You get this done, nothing's ever free. But this plus 30 could mean a lot. For example, you can't even low parry hatchet. Whoops. Whoops. On top of that, you can't low parry down 2+4. On top of that, even though you can't low parry 3+4, you could block it and still be unable to punish. Because look how far you are. This move itself is only minus 12. That's pretty cool, I think. So, unparryable, and it's safe on block, and it does like 15 damage. It's not 18, let's counter it. 15 damage. This is how I killed speed kicks. And there's nothing he could do about it. He could block it, and then we would like go on. We would go on with our lives. But he died anyway, so I was like, that's cool too. You can't tell if speed kicks tried to low parry. You can't tell. He could have just gotten hit by it, like because he was standing up and thought I was gonna go mid. I mean, I could just easily do that. Yeah, just as easily do that. And this is such a quick, like, okay, season 2 has been out for like a week, right? This is such a quick series of events. I would be surprised if he actually had the presence of mind to even try to block it, let alone low parry it. Even though low parry would be the wrong answer, and blocking it and trying to punish would also be the wrong answer, right? If he blocked it and tried to punish it, unfortunately for me, if he tried to punish it, I might be stuck blocking the second hit of that while saying 4-4. Right, earlier when I said it's a golden rule that nothing is free after this on counter hit, Bryan has a loophole around this rule, right? Bryan has a loophole where, because this is plus 30, and taunt is 28, taunt is free as well, when there's no pushback. So it's an actual combo. It's an actual combo. It's the only time anyone gets anything free after this stun, but that's because of a loophole, which is very interesting, I think. You can also be kind of cheeky about it mid-screen too. You can run up and taunt, and you can do so in a way that they actually cannot even like jab you back. And it might take more presence of mind for them to like try to dash back from this too, because that's basically the sole answer to this. The sole answer to this is to dash back. But to dash back in that situation would be difficult for sure. Oops. And then season 2 combo boats. It's pretty good. What do I think about back 1 being more on hit? I totally forgot about that. That's how much it matters. It doesn't really matter much at all. Yeah, the moment I hit this on speed kicks, I was like, I'm really excited to see what's about to happen, because I get this completely safe attempt at a low, and he'll die. And he did. And then I won. It's cool. When I do taunt jet upper, is there a space on input to display between forward and back? Yes, because the game's not going to allow you to jet upper without a neutral in between. Let's see if I can show this. Oops. Like that, for example. I just got back 2, you see on command history there's no neutral between the forward and the back. It won't even give you jet upper. You see right now? And there's that one frame of neutral I just did for the jet upper itself. I have no stream schedule. This is going to be very sporadic, and I'm very uncertain about stream schedule in general. But please follow, and please donate if you'd like. I have a donate button in the shape of Tekken 4 Bryan in my profile. Also follow NorCal Strong Style, where you can find me playing matches on Friday nights at Bronson's house usually. And also this upcoming Saturday when we have North American West Online Tekken World Tour tournament. That was really long. We'll be streaming at Steven's house, Subtole we call him. Streaming at his house, NorCal Strong Style, twitch.tv/NorCal Strong Style. What do I normally do outside of Tekken? Nothing. If I'm not playing Tekken, I'm watching Tekken, because it's a very big source of entertainment to me. I find watching it like, you know, other people watching sports and stuff. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. What kind of Tekken do I watch? I watch a lot of, I watch more, okay, I can definitely say I watch more Japanese Tekken than I do Korean Tekken. Yeah, YouTube has a ton of Japanese Tekken players streaming, because Japan doesn't really like using Twitch, I guess. So there's a lot more YouTube streamers. Damn it. You could dash up and do it. That's basically free. That might be a good idea. But actually I'll just look into it right now. Unfortunately there's more room for error in terms of things like actually doing it. There's room for error there, but there's also room for error as in like they have a game plan against it. Like they could be
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7.
they could be doing something like mashing punch parry for whatever reason, right? There's more room for error in that scenario. But it's definitely a good idea. I've thought about it before too. It's unlikely that people would do anything too, so. Yeah, you also have to make sure it kills them, because it's -12 on hit. But in that scenario, when I was fighting in speed kicks, that might have been a better idea. Who's to say? So, for example, that could happen. Like, it could happen, is what I'm saying. But other than that, it's pretty much like this screwed, right? If you do it right, they can't backdash, they can't sidestep. Yeah, they're screwed, for sure. So, you could think of it like, if they're not some weirdo character with like punch parries and back swings and stuff like that, this knee does total 55. That's crazy, right? Counter hit knee, the second knee. I just said it's minus 12 on hit. But it's incredibly unlikely that someone would think quick enough, I guess. I still feel like down 3 with support is a safer option here. For some reason. But this is good, for sure. It definitely holds merit. Especially if done right. If done right, then you can't backdash, you can't sidestep. Obviously it goes without saying you can't jump it either. Oh wow. Okay, like something like that could happen. You could die, I don't know. On a whim. Whoops. There it is again. What I mean by doing it right is, you notice there's actually a dash in this case. You do the knees, you can't do the unblockable right away. It's not going to reach, so you have to dash up and do it. By dashing up, obviously you eat up a few frames. If you do it wrong, you'll eat up too many frames, and there's too much room in between the dash and the unblockable. Whoops. No dash, but add a wall. That's a combo. This move is 28 frames plus 30. It's a combo. That's true. But in that case, this becomes a nerf actually, because in season 1, it was wall splat. If the wall were really that close, it would wall splat anyway, right? But that's semantics. Do I recommend using this setup to kill frequently? If the knee... Basically, if they're within 55 points of dying, then... yeah, I could say I recommend it. Especially especially because it's very unlikely someone's gonna be ready for it too. Just don't be too sloppy with it, I guess. If you're too sloppy with it, then there's too much room between the dash and the unblock. Let's try that. So things like that could happen if you're too sloppy with it, for example, right? That's like really sloppy. That's a bad example, but it could be slightly less sloppy than that and still not work, is what I'm saying. Down 3+4 is a really stable thing. It's a really stable thing to do, I think. Can you be unblockable in this situation with the backswing moves? I mean, depending on how you do it, right? Yeah, it's difficult to do this in a way that is absolute. That's the only reason why I wouldn't recommend it. It's because there's no way to reliably do this in a way that makes it absolute. Yeah, like for example, if you're gonna say geese, then you could die for this. This definitely looks like more than just a 2-frame gap, because Bryan's punch parry is 2 frames, right? Geese's is 3, or Geese's mid parry. And this looks like his hands are kind of out there for a little bit, so it definitely looks like Geese could get to him. It's just very unlikely they would have the presence of mind. But like, let's say for example, this recording I just did makes it possible I can side step right, because I dashed a little bit deeper than I did the first time, when earlier it wasn't possible. And it's just really difficult to rely on that. I'm saying, like, objectively speaking, I know it's incredibly unlikely that someone is actually gonna be prepared, especially this early on. But when speaking of long term, I highly recommend down 3+4. In terms of long term, highly recommend it. This is a really good long-term strat. Like, this is gonna work. This will work next year, for sure. This, depending on how I do it, and whatnot, and on top of that, you know, this is only to kill, right? This is a very specific situation. This is a very specific situation where they probably should die by this. And actually, in retrospect, I really should have did that against speed kicks at the time. Part of the reason why I like down 3+4 so much is because in the game of Tekken, it is incredibly rare to have some option that is completely safe, let alone be a low and completely safe, right? It is incredibly rare. And then I've already talked about earlier, like, the game in comparison to the rest of the game, right? Because this character has a 50% combo, but everyone else has a 70% combo, this character sucks, right? In a game where almost no low is completely unpunishable in any way, like you can't low parry, you can't low block and punish it, incredibly rare. This situation seems more important to me. And that's why I like the concept. I might even like the concept too much, actually. Not open-minded enough to do like just some other mid. Although I've done that, I've already okay. Me and Bronson have already played a lot, so I've already like mixed this into it, and then fake confirmed him. Cause he knows I like the concept of this so much. He knows I like that concept. He knows I like that concept a lot. So he blocks it a lot. He blocks a lot, and then we just do whatever we want to do because he knows it's safe too. So the game moves on. And then just this one time I show him the mid, and then I pretend like I can confirm it. Is there any situation you use down 2+4 2? In this situation, the only time you would do this is if you were playing a Dragunov. I think that might be the only time, because he could shoulder you, and your only answer to that is this. That would be your only answer to shoulder, basically. But when you're talking about like other scenarios, yeah, there's plenty of reasons. Damn it. Damn it, this combo really drives me insane because I can't figure out how to do it consistently. But the problem is, I feel like there is a way. There is a way to do it consistently, but I just can't figure it out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just gotta give it up, right? Until they actually give him that buff where this hits lower, I guess I gotta give it up, right? That looks really okay. Doing it that early seems hard to rely on, but it's working out a lot right now. It doesn't have to be a mid. It could be a high. It just has to hit lower. There's a difference. Tricky. Alright, I think it's time.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist tournaments, Bryan Fury, Jin Kazama.
I don't feel like staying too long, so I've already streamed much longer than I expected. I'm gonna give you guys a good 5 jet uppers. 1P only. 1P only 5 ton jumpers. After I mess around with this combo a little bit more. Oops. Yeah, I would definitely never do this combo against Jin, because to begin with, the sidestep cross bazooka is not very consistent on him. Not as consistent as I'd like it to be. Yeah, like that, for example. Am I on stick? I'm always on stick. I'm always on Japanese stick. Sanwa, in particular, Kwamba Dragon. Always. Do I have trouble with bears? No. Hey, can you confirm that? No. Damn it. Since which Tekken have I been playing? Tekken 5.0. I caught the second half of the Tekken 5.0 era in my area. How much damage have I ended with this? 1 point less. But I want the Oki. That's important to me. I also want to understand. Understanding is also important to me. God damn it. See, it's times like that when I feel like I'm gonna hit the combo, and then I hit the combo, and I'm like, I can replicate this feeling somehow. I just can't figure out right now. Oops. Or I could just be affirming the consequence. Who knows? What ender do I recommend for now? Right now, if you have the presence of mind to even start off the combo with sidestep cross bazooka on the appropriate characters, then I would just recommend crush impact. I'll just recommend that, basically. Or, you know, depending on if there's a wall after, like I need one more hit, wall, bam, that's it. Or 2 more hits, but I want a clean wall splash, down for 200, bam. Or if I need like, let's say 2 more hits, but wall's far away. In this case, back 3 into Requiem doesn't really have a purpose, because Crush Impact has better recovery anyway, and I feel like it's easier, and it's the same damage. So all that combined, personally, I prefer the double hands. Yeah, I don't like this new, we gotta show you it's not wall bouncing right now, lack of close-up, or lack of explosion, or lack of screen shaking and stuff like that. Now it just looks kind of wimpy. Like, I get it, it's not gonna wall bounce, I get it. Come on, Namco, I understand. Like, there are other times I can feel myself dropping it too. Like, I can tell I'm gonna drop it too. Okay. But there's other times when I'm like, I'm unsure. How do I donate while you are streaming? My boss isn't here yet. I have a donate button. I have a donate button in my profile in the shape of Tekken 4 Bryan. If you click on that, you should be able to figure it out. Yes, thank you. If that is the correct link, I don't even know. I just believe. Sometimes when you play Tekken, you just gotta believe. Oops. How good was Bryan in DR? Bryan in DR, I think, is probably around 5th best character. How many hours do you think you've practiced on Jumper? That's difficult to say, because I only practice it in match. I never practiced Tangent Upper in practice mode. Until, you know, obviously started streaming, and you guys seem to love it, so... Damn it. Somebody, what's it called? Somebody link the actual PayPal link. It's in my profile. If it's too difficult to find, I guess I'll have to work on that. Thank you very much. Can you even see that stuff on mobile? You can see that stuff on mobile, I think, if you look really hard. But that kind of like defeats the whole purpose. If you're looking that hard, it's probably not worth it. But you shouldn't be looking that hard anyway. Like there's not a lot of places to look, right? So close to figuring out this combo. God damn it. It's the few times I get it that really tempt me. Tempt me to not give up on the combo. And then there's other times that I can't even understand why I'm dropping it. That what's the opposite of tempt? Dissuade? Dissuade me from trying this combo. God damn it. Alright, I'll figure out this combo some other time. You guys get 5 tangent uppers. Thank you to all the donators. Thank you very much. To all you guys donating to the proper link. I see you guys. I don't think you guys want your names out there, but thank you. These 5 tangent uppers for you, I guess. Man, it's a lot later than I expected it to be. Damn. Alright. Not that counter it matters, but I'm gonna just do this anyway. Whoops. 1. Damn, 1. 1. 1. Damn. 1. Damn, 1. What the hell was that? That was a down, back, up, left. 1. Yeah, you're about to want a refund after this. Hold on. 1. Yeah, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn. We're back. 1, 2, 3. Damn, 3. Damn, what the hell? 1. Just gotta calm down. Alright, alright. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. You guys have a good night.